Everyone's had a great weekend. Covering a topic tonight: how much does it actually cost to sell your house? So I'll cover a few topics here tonight, basically cover about 5. So we'll start off with preparing your house for sale. Any work that needs to be done to your property. They're tiny things that need cleaning up, preparing the property for sale. Could be painting the front stairs, putting a new fence up. Any little problems that are associated with the property. Could be, the bathroom needs fixing, could be tiling. Just any little odd jobs that need fixing for presentation, that's the number one cost. So that associated cost, look, it could be minor. If it's only a small problem, it could be anything, it could be, a couple of $1,000s, anywhere up to, $100,000, depends on how far you want to go and, if you want to go through a sort of half renovation. But I find that most people are in a good situation and they can get away with, anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 preparing their property for home, for open houses, So you've done the work, you've prepared your property. The next crucial stage and cost involving the sale of your home is marketing. So that involves things like professional photography, the right copywriting, all your mediums of marketing, whether it be print or on the internet, so realestate.com.au, domain.com.au, whether you're doing a social media campaign and boosting, so having all that, all those things taken care of, as well as, look, there's different things happening too. There's all these things we saw at AREC last week, like 3D home views where, your property can be actually on the internet. You can actually, the buyer can actually sit there and have a walk through. It's becoming, a lot more, virtual reality orientated these days. So there's plenty of stuff you can spend on that. Average marketing campaigns on most properties tend to be around about anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000. If you do a bigger print campaign and it's a bigger property and needs that larger exposure, it can be upwards of around $50,000. So it just depends, but more often than not, the average cost would be somewhere in the circa around $5,000 range. The next thing we'll talk about is commission. Now, look, there's a lot of different structures and ways that you can choose your agent. But look, there's an old saying, and look, I go by this, that quite often the cheapest agent may end up costing you the most amount of money. So if someone's willing to come in and just do it for a cheaper price, or drop their commission for a cheaper rate, what's that going to say when they're negotiating the sale of your property? So, there's plenty of ways out of that, and there's plenty of ways in performance. So, flexi fees, where, you can have an incentive based, with regards to how, if the agent gets you a certain amount of money, they get paid a certain percent. So say they get $1 million for you, they get 2.5%. They get you $1.25 million, they get 3%. They get, $1.5 million, they get 3%. So you can make sure it's incentivized. So that all comes down to you negotiating and choosing the agent. But as I said, probably when you're looking to pick that agent, look to pick it on experience, property sold, current listings that they might have, buyers that they're working with. Ask them about, how they deal with the buyers. So, it's like when you go to a doctor as well too. Doctors and surgeons that have been doing it for a number of years are going to charge more than, someone that's just out of medical school just based on experience. So again, the cheapest agent may be the one that's just working by themselves, doesn't have any assistance to help out with, regards to, the monitoring of buyers and the buyer management. So be careful in choosing that. And I invite, I think it's a thing that's coming towards Queensland. I know they do a lot in New South Wales, but, have those incentive-based commissions for your agent. So, but work out commissions and where you're going to be based on a percent, and that's where you'll look to end up selling. The other things to look at when you're selling your home are moving costs. look, it depends how far you're moving and how big your home is. So it's a very hard one to say, but there are costs involved in moving. So, it could go anywhere. I've moved house before and it's cost me a couple of $1,000s, and I've moved house before and it's cost me $5,000. There's plenty of removalist companies. You might do a little bit yourself. You might sell some of the furniture with the house. So, that all is dependent. But I would say that, if you cater in at least a couple of $1,000s with regards to that. The other thing that, probably lastly, with regards to selling your home is solicitor costs. You need to engage a solicitor once you've sold your home, or, probably even get talking to one in the process before you put the property on the market. And when you do sell your home, you will need to, supply a solicitor. Now, when you're going to sell your home, you'll often find that most solicitors will charge less than when you purchase your property. When you're purchasing a property, they will have to do things such as a lot of Brisbane City Council searches, building searches, make sure things are approved on the property, things such as a deck, make sure that's approved. So just so you know, there will be probably more costs involved with a solicitor when you're purchasing than selling. Basically, when you're selling, they're just making sure everything goes smoothly to settlement. They'll make sure they're in contact with the other solicitor, and then obviously they'll go to settlement for you and exchange checks. So look, guys, there are a few costs there involved. As per usual, I hope if anyone's got any questions, I do get quite a fair few messages during the week. So if anyone does have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I look forward to hearing from you soon and seeing you next week. Thank you very much. Bye.